What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Star Wars Mandalorian Phase Pulse Blaster. This blaster is a single-shot, breech-loading prop-tier blaster. It looks super similar to the previous Mandalorian blaster I already reviewed, but this new one comes in at under half the price as the one I already reviewed. So no, it's not the same blaster. No, this is not a re-upload. It's a review of the new blaster. Comparison of what makes these blasters different at the end of the video. So let's get into the review. Included is the blaster, disassembled, darts, and the instructions. Assembly is a breeze. The barrel system simply snaps into place. This is not designed to be removable. It's disassembled for shipping. And this cosmetic piece also snaps into place really easily. External overview of the blaster. Starting up at the front, there's no in-strike barrel lug, but the front muzzle device is not plastic. This is a flexible rubber material, so if you were to barrel tap someone, it would not hurt as much as plastic. However, I wouldn't say it's totally melee safe. If you go and try to hit someone with this, you might still hit them with the plastic and hurt them. I prefer totally foam weapons as melee toys to make sure an accident like that doesn't occur. But these are a foamy rubber material. Very long barrel, but nothing else to manipulate or to point out up here. Now up to the optic. This optic is fixed in place. It's not on an in-strike rail. This component is not removable. And when you look through the scope, you are not able to see anything at all. Light is transmitted through the little lens they have in there, but it distorts it so heavily that you can't see anything at all. Moving back to the priming system and the breech loading system, which is just like the other blaster I reviewed. So to operate this blaster, you move this priming handle forward first. Upon doing that, your breech opens up automatically. Then you get your single Nerf Elite dart, shove it in the barrel like that, close your breech. Now you prime back the spring by pulling back the priming handle like that. Now I am primed, chambered, ready to fire. And to shoot again, you repeat that cycle. It's a breech loading single shot blaster with a very slow rate of fire. But the breeching system is very unique. It's a very fun play experience if you're into that. It's really quite unusual at first, but after you shoot it a few dozen times, you can get relatively smooth at shooting it. But even then, it's not a fast rate of fire blaster. It's a breech loader. It's very, very slow. And it's worth noting this little cosmetic sling mount is not a real sling mount. It pressure fits in and it can snap out really quickly, so don't put a sling on here or the whole blaster will disconnect and fall. Now back to the grip, if you want to call it that. It looks like they just forgot to install it. Holding this blaster is very unusual. I don't think it's super comfortable, but it's very unique. It's very different. And this blaster's not a battle effective blaster, so I don't think they're going for maximum ergonomics. And back to the stock, it's a very unusual stock. The ergonomics on this blaster are not like anything else. It's really short. I can't tell if you're supposed to shoot it like this or down from the hip. I don't really know. But that's a permanent stock that's non-adjustable and non-removable. That is an external overview of this blaster. It looks very visually stimulating, but it's really quite simple to use. Now I'll show you this blaster firing. Shooting standard blue Nerf Elite darts. Operating this blaster went just as expected. It operates exactly like the other Mandalorian blaster I already reviewed. I had one jam where the dart got stuck up in the breech. It happened to be a crummy dart that I was testing with. With new or next to new Nerf darts, I had no jams or malfunctions, but I had a few hiccups when I used crummy darts. I think this breeching system is not as receptive to worn out foam. To compare this blaster to others, I put it up on my chronograph and achieved an average velocity of 59 feet per second shooting Nerf Elite darts, which is slower than the 70 FPS Elite Par and slower than the other Mandalorian blaster I already reviewed. Furthermore, there was a great deal of range with these muzzle velocities. Some of these darts were shooting at 45 FPS, where some of them shot up to 67 feet per second. So it's not super consistent from shot to shot, which makes it a little more annoying to try to line up your elevation. That is the objective information I can provide on this blaster. Now to my personal opinion. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with this blaster as a prop tier blaster. It's obviously not a high performance blaster, but it looks really cool, and for prop people, I think they're going to be pretty happy with this one. But honestly, I'm not as enthusiastic about this blaster because I already reviewed one which was nearly identical. So the whole mystery and coolness of this unique breaching system is already kind of lost on me. I'm already kind of desensitized because I reviewed one so similar to this one. But my opinion on this one as a prop style blaster is pretty positive. I know a lot of you guys just want to know what is the difference between these, because this white one is twice the cost as the orange one. So I'll break that down for you. First, starting with what is the same between these two blasters. The proportions, length, size, weight is nearly identical. It looks like they reused some of the molds. The stocks are identical. Now the paint is different, so it looks different, but the plastic feels the same. Now the chrono velocity out of my white unit shoots a little bit faster than my orange unit, but I might have a lemon with my orange one because of my firing consistency issue I already mentioned. But the ergonomics, the process of loading and shooting these blasters is the same. So now getting to what is different between these two blasters. Up front, the orange's muzzle is this rubber foam material, whereas this white one is just regular rigid plastic. Next, the white one uses batteries, so you can turn on the scope, which turns on a little red light in here. And when you pull the trigger and close the breech, you get audio feedback, which makes it a little more fun and gimmicky to play with. The orange one does not take batteries, there are no lights, and there are no sounds in this one. And the paint jobs are considerably different, obviously. Not just in the colors that they chose, but the white one has what appears to be wear and tear, like some dry brushing on the edges here, which is a subtler detail, but it really changes the appearance of the unit. This one just looks like regular brand new plastic. This one looks a little battle worn and a little more hardcore. And if you're into bling bling, this one has lots of gold all over it. Last, the orange one ships in two different pieces that you have to assemble in a pretty cheap looking box, where the white one comes fully assembled, it's very long, in a dedicated box, which looks a little cooler. And those are the differences between these two units. Are those differences worth twice the price? I don't know, that's your decision to make. To buy or not to buy? This is the question. If you're a performance-oriented nerfer, obviously don't buy this blaster. It's a single-shot, breech-loading, gigantic primary with below-average firing velocity. Obviously, it's not built for performance-oriented nerfers. I think this one is designed for the prop people, the emotional nerfers that want to feel like they're in a movie, like Star Wars. So if that's you and you want something that looks like a Star Wars gun, you can check this one out. The firing performance is obviously terrible. That's not really what this one is designed for. Think of this as a prop blaster that looks really cool, that will make you feel really cool, that happens to also sort of shoot Nerf darts, and you should be fine. If you're expecting a performance blaster, obviously you'll be disappointed. I think it's awesome that Hasbro released two versions of essentially the same blaster. The mechanism in the breech is fun to use, and if you don't want to buy the $120 version, this one comes in at 55 bucks. I think for prop people, the biggest difference is going to be the lights and sound that come out of this one and the foam tip on this one. In my experience of painting foam and rubber just like this, eventually the paint will wear off and kind of look trashy. This one has a plastic tip, which is going to hold paint a little better. And the lights and sounds might be more important to you as a cosplayer, so when you're dry firing, it can sound like that, which is cool. But this one is half the price, and that's a pretty big deal. So you can choose whichever you want. That's just my opinion. I'm not a prop cosplay person, so hopefully I've laid out all the information you need to make an educated purchase decision on your own. That concludes my video review of this blaster. If you'd like to buy one of these, I'll put a purchase link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.